Hi everyone, welcome back. Modern Horizons 3 has dropped and has updated a lot of old archetypes, one of them being one of my favorite decks in Legacy, Aluren. We got Flare of Cultivation. It's one of the new free spells from the free spell cycle. You can sacrifice a non-token green creature rather than pay the spell's mana cost, and if you do, you get a free Cultivate. Search your library for two basic lands, one goes into play and one goes into hand. And probably the best creature in all of Magic to sacrifice to this is Veteran Explorer. When it dies, you get to search your library for two basic lands and put them into play tapped. Your opponent gets that too, but don't worry about it. Aluren has kind of fallen out of favor over time because it's this mid-range deck with a combo kill, but you just end up being so much slower than a lot of other combo decks. And over time, the mid-range play has gotten more, mid, where things like Cavern Harpy and Recruiter of the Guard, 3 mana for a tutor and a 1/1, and 2 mana for a 2/1 that lets you or forces you to reset your blue creatures. These are kind of maybe better in like 2018 to 2020 region of Legacy, but at this point in time, the mid-range decks are doing more powerful things. Um, so my idea is that, turn one veteran plus flare, suddenly you have 4 mana in play on turn one, obviously tapped, but then turn two, you can play Aluren, and that's very powerful. It can potentially let you win quicker. Um, really quick for the combo for anyone who is unaware, any player may cast a creature spell with mana value 3 or less without paying the mana cost, and with flash. So with all your creature spells free, you play a Recruiter of the Guard, and this will tutor up a Niambi. This is a 2/1 with flash. When it ETBs, you can return a creature to your hand and gain life equal to its mana value. So you bounce the Recruiter of the Guard, you replay the Recruiter, you get Cavern Harpy. This is a 2/1 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you have to return a blue or black creature you control to its owner's hand. So you can return Niambi. And then uh, these two keep bouncing each other and allow you to gain as much life as you want because Niambi is gaining 2 life when it bounces Harpy. Harpy is rebouncing the Niambi to, um, again, regain that life back. And then once you have enough life, you can replay your Recruiter of the Guard one more time and find Orcish Bowmasters, and then use Cavern Harpy plus Bowmasters to deal enough damage to your opponent. Um, Bowmasters is definitely one of the better Aluren win cons. We've had to play these really awful cards in the past, like 3 mana 2/2s that don't really do anything by themselves, whereas Bowmaster is like actually a card that isn't embarrassing to play in Legacy. So I like that. The one downside is this combo is weak to targeted removal. There are, I think, worse bounce creatures that get around targeted removal, but they don't gain you life, and so you need to have different win cons in your deck. And so I've always liked this a little bit better. Um, Niambi also allows you to discard a legendary card to draw 2 cards, which does come up a non-zero amount of times. The life gain is kind of nice too. Um, it being a flash creature by itself is kind of good when you don't have Aluren in play yet, and you want to, like say like chump block with Recruiter and then protect it. All these things are good. Um, and yeah, we're going to see if Modern Horizons 3 can be a shot in the arm to this archetype. All right, here for round one, I will reveal my companion. Uh, I didn't talk about this in the deck tech, so I can start talking about it now. But I generally don't like Yorion in blue decks because the ratios of playing an 80 card deck, means that your best cards are worse. So kind of like the quick math is that if I'm playing 4 ponders in an 80 card deck, it's like I'm only playing 3 in a 60 card deck. And so it's like, why would I ever want to do that? It's generally not worth it for the companion, in my opinion. But one of the bonuses is that you can play more basics. You need a lot of basics in your Veteran Explorer plus player of Cultivation deck. And so I'm playing 7 basics in here, and I'm dead. Sorry. I'm playing 7 basics, and um, it's nice to draw them less often. But yeah, my opponent is playing a Necro Dominance combo deck. So this is another new card for Modern Horizons 3. It's basically Necropotence, but you have to draw the cards in the end step. And then my opponent will use Born Upon a Wind to um, give all their spells flash and win the game on turn one. And it's actually pretty consistent. Um, my understanding is that the deck has a very, very high win rate on turn one. So we'll let them do their thing and, you know, hope to draw Force of Will on the sideboard. Though it wouldn't even matter here. Like, that's the thing. They play 4 of this plus 4 of the blue pack, so it almost doesn't matter. So they're thinking. We'll see what they do. All right. I guess they fizzled. Weird. That normally doesn't happen. Okay, so what is good against them? Veil can potentially counter the Pact. Force can potentially destroy the Necrodominance. Mind Break Trap and Force Negation are obviously quite good. Dahlia can make the spells too expensive, and Ufe can shut off their Lotus Petals. These are cards that aren't completely dead. Now, as far as cards that I don't think are that useful, I think the swords can come out pretty cleanly. And then I have to cut 2 more cards. I don't want to cut any blue cards just for blue count if I can avoid it. Green cards are nice because they are good with Force of Vigor. However, let's just see if we can find the best green cards. I think Veteran plus Cabal Therapy is very important. Grist probably doesn't really do anything. And then maybe one Aluren. It's either Aluren or Rector to cut here. Because let's see, if I'm recruiting for something in this weird world where I make it to turn 3 or turn 2 potentially, am I really recruiting for Rector? Um, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, all right. We'll keep the Rector in. If we draw our Endurance, if we draw our Force of Vigor and the Academy Rector in the same hand, and no other green card, then them's the beats. But yeah, I think we just run it. I'll reveal my companion. I can pay 3 mana to put a blue card in my hand. This hand would be so good if this were a normal game of Magic, but it's not. So I'm gonna mulligan. Again, this doesn't have anything. Okay, cool. We have a Force plus blue card. The play patterns of turn 1 combo decks are just incredibly toxic. Cool. All right, opponent draws 19. Born Upon a Wind was cast. I don't know why. Oh, they're in the exile zone because of Necrodominus. Necrodominus makes you exile your hand. All right, back up Opal. There's back. I assume this gets Elder Spirit Guide, which it does. Chromox comes into play. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Beseech. Beseech gets Tendrils, and that's the game. Cool. All right. All right. Games 1 and 2 ended on the first turn. I took 0 game actions. Great deck to exist in Legacy. Let's run it back. Maybe Surgical comes in because it's like a 0 mana spell. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll trim a Recruiter. I can't imagine this mattering very much, but like I could see a world where like they Dark Ritual into Necro, and then you can at least Surgical the Dark Rituals, and then that can potentially make the game plan slower. All right. This has Cabal Therapy and no blue card for Green Sun Zenith, but I think that's a keep. It's bad if they have Chancellor. All right, I'm gonna name the Necrodominance because I think that is. So they have Necrodominance and they have the Beseech the Mirror, but Beseech is one more mana and requires a sacrifice thing, so I think Necrodominance is the take here. We did hit it, and would you look at that? They would have had it on turn one. Um, okay, so that's the hand. Next turn, at the very least, I can Zenith for Veteran Explorer and potentially take a card from their hand. This blue card is excellent. I think I am going to do that. All right, I will get blue and white. All right, now what do I name? Oh no, I actually have to make decisions. All right, so there's Cabal Ritual and there's Manamorphose. Um, I think Manamorphose is actually slightly better here because they have enough black mana if they want for Necrodominance. Manamorphose is actually kind of important where, like, after you've drawn your 19 cards, it lets you filter your, like, red and green mana into blue and black mana so you can Dark Ritual plus Born Upon a Wind. So I'm going to take the Manamorphose. All right, and they drew another Chrome. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. All right, have this blue card. Next turn, I will put Yorion into my hand and see where it goes from there. Hmm. Could also get the last two basics out of my deck, but I think that's just worse. Because next turn, well, let's think. Okay, so can I get and play Yorion next turn if I do this right now? So 1, 2, 3. So obviously I'm doing. Oh, whoops. Okay. Well, I guess I'm committed to Yorion. So I guess I could have technically. No, I would have been one short even if I cultivated here. So I think this is the right play regardless because I would not be able to get and play Ryan, and I'm basically just trying to kill my opponent as quick as possible at this point. Force of Will is great. Um, Jeez. I think I'm actually going to take one turn to leave up two force effects. Because next turn I'll be able to play Orion and hold up a Force of Negation. No, actually I'm one blue short. Oh no, I'm not. It's blue white. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so next turn I'll be able to do both, and I think two pieces of protection is better than one extra turn. At least that's just my thought process. If I draw another Green Sun Zenith, okay, Veil is also excellent. All right, so I think it's time. Time to get the hooks in. So yeah, that's like one option I had too. Is like I could have used, I could have waited one turn on the Green Sun Zenith and gotten Collector Ufe. But I don't think that would have been worth it. All right, so I'm gonna therapy. I will name the Lotus Petal. Chrome Mox, if it wants mana, has to imprint a card. Um, okay, so another mana morpho. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So I guess my question is, I have to decide if I want to flashback therapy on anything. Um, I don't think so. Like even if they draw a payoff spell, I have so many counters for it right now, and they don't have like protection right now, so I can certainly take a turn off. Yeah, I think there's no reason to, because like I can play Harpy and bounce the Yorion and flashback therapy, but then I'm like tapping pretty low on mana if I want to replay the Yorion. Um, I assume opponent will play out something or go to discard. I guess I'm wrong. I assumed wrong. All right, they discarded the Chromox instead of putting it into play to potentially imprint with Mox Opal. Yeah, we're gonna cast Brainstorm. Um, well, so this can find Oof, and then Bowmasters is quite good against the actual Necrodominance. Um, is that better than? So I'm spending 5 mana, so I only have 3 mana left. So I can hardcast Force Negation and pitch Force of Will. So I'll put back the Veil of Summer. I think the Ufe will get the concession. Um, and then, yeah, okay, cool. So we ended up winning. I'm going to be honest and say that my play experience was less than optimal. Uh, I think that just the game is being so frequently decided on turn one, um, with pretty much the only thing that matters is the cards in your opening hand is less than ideal. But sometimes that's part of Legacy. So on to the next match. All right, here for round two with Yorion Aluren. We have the combo, and we have the turn two. Now we just need to draw Recruiter of the Guard. Another thing I do like about the companion in this deck is that if you do get things going, just like having so much mana in play, the companion is actually a reasonable game plan. Ooh, Eldrazi Temple. Looks like we're playing against an Eldrazi deck. I have to wonder how many basics this sort of deck will play. There's Cabal Therapy, but I think it's just better to do this. It's also the fun new play that the deck has access to. So, and of course, one thing I can do next turn is Aluren. I have 5 mana total, so Aluren plus Therapy, and then Bowmaster can flashback Therapy. Assuming I don't get Thought Not Seared. This is a big assumption. Alright, so we already have white, which we don't really need, so we'll do Island Forest off this. Oh, I'm so stupid. I forgot the veteran puts them into play untapped. And they do have 2 basic lands. Wow. Wow. So yeah, we'll go Swamp and Island. And we'll put the Island into play. So yeah, this was a bit foolish. I could have cast a Cabal Therapy here. It's been a while since I've sleeved up the Veteran Explorer. I definitely would have named Thought Not Seer. So if it comes down, I will have learned my lesson. Opponent, Eldrazi Temple. No Reality Smasher. Matter Reshaper. Maybe another one. I definitely think they would have Thought Not Seared if they had it. So I guess I don't really know what to name at this point with the therapy. But I do know that casting Aluren is good. Turn to Aluren, baby! We're doing the thing. This is a very special day. Let's see if we can draw into some action. Hmm. I'm gonna get a blue-black land here. And I think I could fetch to Thin, but if I draw a Brainstorm, I would definitely want to cast that plus fetch. Okay, not bad, not bad. We have access to Swords of Plowshares now. So I guess I'll start with a Therapy. I'm not sure what I'm naming, though. I guess another Matter Reshaper? Another Endless one, maybe? So they would have played Matter Reshaper in response to the Aluren. I think I just have to accept this first one's going to miss. Because I don't know the deck lists well enough. Maybe Endless one. I'm not actually sure if you can play Endless one for 3. Kozilek's Command. Okay, okay. So I will take that. If I type Command, surely it will. Also, oh my god, there's so many commands in Magic the Gathering. All right, Kozilek's Command. This is the right one. Okay, cool. We did it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I were to draw a land next turn, I could play, or I could put Yorion in my hand and play it, but I think escaping Uro is just better. So I am just going to leave the land in hand for a Brainstorm, and likely look to Swords to Plowshare or something. I guess if they play Reality Smasher, I'd also want to Swords that potentially. And so having a card to discard is good. Hmm. Alright, I am going to Swords here. I will Swords the Matter Reshaper. And I'm just going to take the 6 damage. And hitting the Kozilek's Command, this can exile graveyards, right? Yeah, so this was actually really, really lucky here. So, Recruiter should just win the game unless they drew more removal, but it's pretty free to... Cool. So I have the one, this guy, Eternal Witness. So I want to leave the swords in and not the arrow. Okay, Eldrazi. Eldrazi are big, bad creatures. I don't have too much in my sideboard that I think helps with that. You could argue Force of Vigor for like Chalice of the Void type things. And I guess this can name Eldrazi. They do have the one card that makes 0/1 Scions when when you cast a colorless spell, and so being able to deal with those is actually kind of nice. Force Negation doesn't really have targets outside of the Chalice, so I think we're gonna do this and call it a day. Yeah, let's submit. I guess Endurance is a 3/4 that does challenge some things pretty well. I could see playing this, and then what do we cut? Um, Maybe Eternal Witness is a little slow. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. So we did it. We got the turn to Aluren. Very happy. This hand seems solid. Obviously, no current ways to sacrifice the Veteran Explorer. However, you know, it is sort of a chump blocker against these Eldrazi decks. Also, actually, What am I talking about? I can kill it with Bowmaster if I so desire. So I think we'll use this to get a green-white and then play the veteran, assuming Chalice doesn't come down. Of course, if Chalice comes down, this hand gets a lot worse. So it looks like with the Ayabugan start, that's not something to worry about. There's other things to worry about, like this endless one. Hey, Teferi's not bad. Teferi's not bad. All right, so we'll get green-white and play out the veteran. And I guess there's a question of if I would like to chump block, and the answer is probably no, just because it's just 2 damage, and um, I could potentially kill it at instant speed to get my mana set up if I needed to. Ooh, and they have the Wasteland. I'm kind of okay with this though. Oh, and they don't even attack. They know. All right, so I'll play this out. Cannot be Wastelanded, and I'm gonna look to brainstorm and end step. I suppose I could have brainstormed now to potentially find the flare, but if they are under the impression that I'm mana locked, I don't want to, um, you know, dissuade them from that opinion. I do have a wasteland here. I don't think I would counter that, so it's fine. And we'll see if they attack now. Still no attacks. I'm not complaining. Okay, so I think we want to put back these two. This one's probably the shuffle. And then the other card doesn't really matter. I guess if they kill my thing, I instant speed somehow. I'll just put back this. Hmm. Right. And I do want to be able to cast the Bowmasters, but also not lose to Wasteland. And there is, Bayou and Underground Sea in here, so this is what I'll be doing. And this little moat, this moat card's pretty good. Um, I don't think I care about this. Not that I would do anything here, but it definitely does not. I do not believe it matters here. Right. And so now I'm going to get a Bayou and oops, try to ping my Veteran Explorer. Right. And we'll definitely get Plains plus Island here. Plains. Do we get Island or do we get Forest? I don't think it matters too much. I'll get Forest in case they have some random way to destroy this. I already have 2 blue sources. I'm not doing anything with the mana this turn. Even though it comes in untapped, which I am now aware of. Okay. Oh, remember the Chalice is currently shut off. That might be okay. Um, so I'm going to start by getting some recruiters out of the deck. Just add some extra chump blockers. And then I could get Niambi. I could also get the Cavern Harpy right now. Actually, kind of tough. So Cavern Harpy right now is good because I can just juggle the Bowmasters and keep dealing them damage. Niambi lets me completely win this turn, though, so it's like unclear. The only card that really blows me out here is Kozilek's Command, and then I guess, yeah. Okay, so they didn't have it. All right, so now the trick here is you want to respond to this return trigger with the Bowmaster. That way, if they have removal or something, they don't have a window to use it. I guess I'll just do this one more time now. Just saves me a ping. Yeah, so I'd get to wipe their board and have a very big army token. I don't know if I'd be able to win this turn after spending like, 5 life to kill other creatures. Um, but each extra life does deal 2 because one from the ping and making the army one bigger. So I think I would have gotten there. All right, cool. 2-0. On to the next round. Once again, my companion is revealed. So we're on the draw, and this hand's pretty slow. I think I'm going to throw it back. If you follow my content for a while, you know that I am pretty big on keeping most hands, but I think with this deck, you want to be a little bit more um, selective with your hands, just because the deck is capable of very fast starts, and your slow starts really don't do much of anything. This is an interesting one. I'm actually not sure what I want to bottom here. I'm definitely keeping these. And then it's just a matter of if I want to bottom a land or I want to bottom the Aluren. I think the Aluren is my win the game card, and I do have a way to potentially get more lands with this flare. So I think I want to just bottom the Savannah here. This might come back to bite me, but we'll see. Blue-white. Wonder if this is a ponder. Important. Whoa, okay. Interesting. Been a while since I've seen this card, but I'm not complaining. All right, let's go. Veteran Explorer. Boom. All right, therapy. Not bad. Well, I don't think this deck is likely to play Wasteland. I'm still just going to fetch the basic swamp here. Is that even true? Or do I want to get blue-black? No, I think I need to. Just hope they don't have Wasteland. And then I'm going to name Brainstorm here, especially with the other therapy. Naming Brainstorm's quite nice because it means that the contents of their hand can't change. So it's like it would be Brainstorm or Force of Will here. And unfortunately, they did have the Force and did not have the Brainstorm. But um, it's still like not that big a deal. So here I think I want to therapy again and name Force of Will. Because this way my Bowmaster can resolve the next turn. And then I can name the Swords to Plowshares and take 2 of them. Or 1 of them. Although drawing the other therapy means that I'm just going to name swords as well. And they drew Brainstorm! Ah, yeah! Gross. So gross, man. Terrible. Alright, well, it should still be okay. So here I think I name Ponder. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is their hand. So it's like, do I want to name one of these right now. I think so. I think I just want to use my mana efficiently. Actually, I actually think I'm going to wait because I know that the top card of their deck is Force and Swords, and they might want to keep that. If I draw a land, I shouldn't have fetched here. I should have thought about my turn. Okay, so they did fetch those away. Okay, so I could Therapy here and name something. I could also play one of the Bowmasters here and Flashback Therapy. It lets them dress down, though. So I think I want to just do this now. And if they don't play the dress down, I'm going to name it. Ooh, sick. Doubles. I guess it makes up for the one I missed earlier. So now, unless they draw Force, but even if they draw Force, it's like, okay. But I will be able to resolve a Bowmaster. Could potentially also just play the Cultivate, but I don't think that's worth it. I think getting the Yorion out of their hand. Yep, and that's fine. Getting the Yorion out of their hand when they're on 4 mana, I think has a lot of value. Okay, and Terminus is the last card. Not a good card to have in your hand. And this can be the downside of the Miracles deck. And so next turn I will Flare. Assuming that I don't get wastelanded. Okay, so this will fetch a Forest. And then just cast in a good old Cultivate, you know? Nothing wrong with that. So I think I got Island Plains here. And then I can like represent Swords of Plowshares or something. And then I kind of feel like I don't need to play the Aluren this turn. And I would like to just Cultivate again and put Yorion into my hand. I don't really see the downside of this. So we'll get a Forest and I guess Swamp. Oh, not revealed. I need to put the Companion in my hand. And that seems fine to me. All right, so I don't think there's much downside in naming Terminus here. So I will do that. And then I can decide, oh shit, okay. Excuse my language, but yes, this has been very fortunate. And I do have a card to brainstorm back with a brainstorm should I draw it. So I'm just gonna play this out. All right. I would say we're in a very good spot. Obviously, huge mana advantage on our opponent, huge board presence, gotten multiple 2-for-1s off these Cabal therapies. And should I show my opponent that I'm on a Aluren deck? That is unclear to me. I think the answer is no, actually. I think I'm just so favored, so far ahead here, that there's no reason to. They haven't seen a Veteran Explorer or Recruiter. I'll start by attacking. All right. I'm gonna wait on the brainstorm. Would like to dig one card deeper. So one thing I can do is next turn I can brainstorm, put 2 bad cards back, and then play out the Rector and use the Rector as a shuffle with Therapy. That might not be necessary though. Yeah, I think taking 4 cards with 2 flashback therapies was just too much to deal with. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So miracles. Carpet is probably good. You know, accelerates my game plan. Veil seems solid, and then I think that might be it. We didn't see any indication of red, and even if so, there's probably like such a few. There's a low number of cards to red blast that it's like not even worth it. I'm gonna trim a couple Force of Wills, maybe like one, Force of Will, two Swords of Plowshares. Force of Negation is like so much easier to hardcast in the mid game that I kind of like it. And like they do have the 5/5 with lifelink, but I play so many creatures that I don't think I'm too worried about that card. So yeah, I think we can just run it like this. Do I want to, if I'm bringing in two carpets, do I want to trim a mana source? That becomes the next question. I think that's probably fine. It's just between like the flares and the veteran. I have so many. I'm gonna trim a Vista. Maybe I trim the Dryad Arbor instead. This card's kind of bad. Yeah, because okay, so the plus side of Dryad Arbor is that in matches where you need to go fast, you can like green sense for it and then flare it, and then um, you'll have 3 mana on turn 2, and it's not vulnerable to removal. But in a matchup like this, I can just wait to cast the flares for 3 mana. Au natural, as it were. So I think I get to bring in something else. Maybe just leave in all 4 forces. I can see that being good. Okay, cool. Cool. All right, back again. What does this hand do? It would have green sun for Dryad Arbor, that's for certain. But as it stands, I do still think it's a keep. So now I can do the flare combo, and I will. I'm fine ramping my opponent and ramping myself. See if they do anything I feel pressured into countering. Counterbalance. Yeah, I think with how I imagine the speed of the game to go, I don't mind countering this. Okay. Well, is what it is. I'm going to get an island. And then hope that there's no 2 on top of my opponent's library. A 4. That would be scary if I wasn't causing my opponent to shuffle. Oh, I guess, oh yeah, that's cool. The counterbalance trigger resolves before the veteran search, so the flare comes into play. And I will get blue-white. Not that it will matter. I don't plan to flash into Niambi here, however. I've seen worse things. All right, and then we'll get green and black. And we'll put the black mana in. And as you can see, it's turn 2, and we're already through 6 of our 7 basics here. So, wow, they're even playing Entreat. That's crazy. All right, well, we have some work to do. I'm probably just dead, though, I think, because they can just put a 3 on top. What would I recruit her for here? I guess Ice-Fang is the card I'd be interested in playing. Yep, yeah. So I just get to put back Entreat. It's annoying. Yeah, the turn 2 Counterbalance plus Force Protection is probably going to be enough. I guess I can put Yorion in hand, so I will. We'll get blue-white. Or I guess green-white. Okay, let's see. We have outs here. I think it starts with Teferi, so we'll play that. White, blue, black. Alright, and we are dead. Cool. Oh well. Maybe do we want the Thalia? I could actually see that being decent. Uh, maybe over a carpet. Sure, we'll try that. I could see it being good. They are a very spell heavy deck. Maybe -1 veteran, +1 carpet. Just so that we don't ramp our opponent as well. Yeah, that's how we'll run it. I do think in general counterbalance is beatable. It's just that they also had a um, quick entreat plus counter for Mystic Sanctuary. Okay. This hand seems pretty good. No blue card yet, but we do have the veteran. I will go ahead and just play it out. If it gets swords, that's like, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yep. This time I'm prepared though. They have the force back up. But of course they don't, yeah. Sure. Alright. Alright, so this resolves. What do I want to get? Could just be Bowmaster. I kind of could see that, just as like having a Bowmaster is good. And it can be a way to instant speed my veteran. It did not shuffle. So there's a miracle. There wasn't. Alright. They didn't shuffle, so I am going to do this plus the flare. Because even if they counter this, I'm still getting my 2 lands off of the veteran. So definitely getting green here with veteran, and then have to decide what else. Don't know how much white mana we need, so I'll just get green blue, and then we'll go. I guess green black, and then we'll put the swamp into play. I guess it doesn't really matter. I definitely want to put Yorion in my hand while holding up Bowmaster, so next turn I'll get to do Yorion with Karakas and Veil protection. I do think that's pretty good. I'm not going to Bowmaster this. I think if they're doing this, they're probably have some from a removal. Yeah, putting swords back. This is not too surprising. Hmm. I guess so. This doesn't draw right away, so I will consider using the Bowmaster and end step, just because it would trigger again. They're probably going to swords the recruiter, would be my guess. So like it would be kind of nice to get a little bit of value out of the Bowmaster. Yeah, we'll go for it. I don't know what to. I don't think anything too bad could happen. I suppose Terminus could be bad if there's also Terminus on top. But there was not. Interesting. So they're choosing to swords that over the recruiter. It's actually kind of surprising to me. Um, that's a really good draw. I'm gonna start by playing it. Oh, but I can't. I don't have double white. I was thinking, when would I ever need double white? Maybe it's better then to just do the first line. All right, I'll start by attacking. I don't think they would play any flash. That's that good. I guess Hull Breacher. Closed decklist is such a scam. Alright, so yeah, because I can't Teferi plus Recruiter this turn, I'm gonna play Yorion plus Veil instead. Cool. Alright, that's all good. Still +2 for me because Yorion was a card not from my deck, so it's a +1, and then the Force was a +1 as well. Okay, Counterbalance on top. It's annoying, or Counterbalance. This is annoying because it's like, I feel like a 3 is pretty likely if they have Entreat. Um, I'm gonna try to play this out right now and see what happens. Because if they have a 2, I would love to play the Teferi. They have another Brainstorm. Okay. Let's see if this gets countered. Does not. So, again, right now, I'm thinking there's a 3 on top, so I'm not going to play the Teferi. I think it's just too backbreaking if they had an Entreat. And if they don't, then it's like kind of okay, you know? And this is kind of sweet because it's like now I know there's a 1 on top. So don't cast the Ponder. The last card's a counterspell, then they're still down to 1 card in hand. Yep, that's fine. Right, so they're facing lethal on board, and they have no cards in hand, and they just have a Ponder to work with. This is going to be close. Certainly will be close. All right, so they did not use the ability. Interesting. Terminus. Okay. Okay. So found Terminus. If they leave another 1 on top, then I could be in trouble, depending on what I draw, which is just a land. I think now's the best time. That's interesting. They knew. Well, I'm going to draw the Brainstorm. Put these 2 lands back. Yeah, they should have known the bottom card, and or they should have known this card and not revealed to counterbalance. So I'll put these 2 lands back. I was going to say, I hope the card underneath is good. Do I play Mystic Sanctuary? Hold on. I feel like I should know this. um, hmm. Well, I'm going to play this out and play out the Aluren. And then I'll fetch an upkeep. I'm fetching an upkeep anyway, so I'll find out if there's Mystic Sanctuary. And I know there's Force of Will in hand. I kind of have a feeling I don't want any of these cards. Maybe Brainstorm. I think I'm going to take 1 draw step. It's not even true. Let's see. Daggers. I didn't put this card in the deck. Okay. No Mystic Sanctuary. I'll get a white source. That's certainly interesting. Actually, really powerful here because even if they force a will, it obviously just comes back. And Karakas to protect it from Swords to Plowshares. They should, of course, check if there's a 3 first before deciding to force a will it. We'll see what's on top. They choose not to check. They know it is true that they know the top card. Sure. I'm just gonna do this now. It's just tough because it's like they know the top card's not a 3, which makes a 1 more likely. But okay, we get to nap the force a will. And then, of course, escape Uro here. All right, and I think we definitely had a rough go of it. So I could actually play an escape Uro again, and that leaves me open to Swords to Plowshares, but it does draw 2 cards. And I know their top card's down to 3. I think this is fine. I know the top card's not Swords to Plowshares, actually, because they would have used it to counter the Cabal Therapy. Oh, okay, and now we win. Oh, it could be a 2. Silly me. So it's either land or Terminus. Right, so I am only at 9 minutes left, so I do have to play this a little bit quickly. I should always yield to this. Counterbalance trigger. Okay, so actually, because they showed me the land, I know that I can just escape Uro and have lethal, and that's what they can do. So I will do that. Just don't exile the Cabal Therapy. Seems optimal. I guess I can kneel to this. Okay, and we're good. Cool. So yeah, really interesting games. A lot of back and forth. Uh, Ramping myself is important with veteran, but also giving them 2 lands is not good for me. It does turn on their Mystic Sanctuaries much faster. I have to think if I want a Mystic Sanctuary in this deck. I have so many non-island lands, but I am also ramping very quickly, so it's an interesting consideration that I will think about in the future. All right, to the next round. All right, here we are for round 4. I've been out of the Legacy streets for a little bit, testing for the RC. But I feel like my opponent is somewhat of a leans towards the graveyard strategies. That being said, it is still unknown, and I have my combo in my hands that I am not willing to give up. So I'm going to keep this hand. By the way, this has felt legitimately powerful. I just wanted to throw that out there. Um, that like the veteran plus player does seem to meaningfully um, speed up what I'm doing, what I have access to. Okay, I will get a source of green mana, probably blue-green. Unfortunately, nothing to do with the extra 2 mana this turn. However, in theory, next turn I'll be able to go off with I guess I'll just do blue, green, black, white, a little bit of everything. I suppose I should have gotten black and white first because if this gets countered, potentially bad for me. I'll put the white into play because I'm more likely to use it next turn. Obviously, my opponent is going to be powering out their game plan too. They're drawing cards with Sylvan Library and have 3 mana in play, potentially access to 4 as well. Caustic Bronco. That card will be good against me. Okay, so definitely will lead with Uro here because this gives me access to 6 mana. If it swords it, I don't really mind. Bowmaster, I mind a little bit more, though I am happy that I led on this and not the recruiter. And this might actually be one of those times that a recruiter for the it's turning something like a recruiter for a blue card. That's probably better for this Force of Will, in case my opponent does something scary. Like if they crop rotation, I'd want to force that because it stops my. I could also just Recruiter. I think next turn I want a Recruiter for Bowmaster. Well, this is actually very tough because so we'll get a green source here. We'll get a Bayou. So I could Recruiter for a blue card to protect this Uro. I could also Recruiter for Rector to get Aluren on line and potentially win the game next turn. I could Recruiter for my own Bowmaster this turn, and that allows me to Bowmaster plus Uro next turn. I kind of feel like Bowmaster plus Uro is what I want to be going for, and if they do find an answer for the Uro, then at least I can Recruiter into potentially, more valuable stuff. I'll still be able to use most, if not all, of my mana during the turn. Bowmaster also lines up quite well against the Sylvan Library, where it's effectively shut off at that point in time. Let's see what I'm sure there will be a land here. Yeah, my opponent stacked their the Sylvan Library correctly. We'll say. I don't want to block here. I do play the Niambi. Potentially would not mind doing that next turn if the Uro does not survive. Red mana and white mana. Okay, so I have Dryad Arbor and a few unknowns. Hmm. All right, so I'm going to get, I guess, Savannah or Tundra doesn't really matter. Oh, it does. No, it doesn't. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna escape the Uro first to play around some things. So green, blue, blue, and then with the triggers on the stack, I will play out my Bowmaster. If they have another Bowmaster, like it's a little annoying, but I still think this is the best line. It would have been nice to draw a blue card, but say Levy. Ooh, okay. So they're choosing to do that so that they can keep um, their Sylvan Library online effectively. I mean, it makes sense to me. I have so much mana in play. This feels so powerful. I assume the knight will probably get a Karakas here to deal with my Uro, but then at least I have a blue card in hand. Definitely wouldn't mind drawing Cabal Therapy to right away deal with or right away turn this into an Aluren effectively. Yeah. I mean, it's not that bad though. I'm still gaining a ton of life and drawing a bunch of cards. I don't think that's scary enough to force a will, though it does get them to Merit Lage sooner. Yep. What's the last card? 6. Ooh, that's quite strong. Good new card. So this is a new card. 2/4 with reach. When it attacks, you mill 3. You can put a land into hand, and then non-land permanents in your graveyard have retrace. So you can just discard a land to get that Bowmaster, or well, really anything you want. So it's a very powerful uh, effect. Okay. We're running out of basics to get. In fact, we are all out of basics with the Vista and this. Hmm. This could just be a Yorion line. This is actually pretty difficult because I obviously can't escape Uro this turn. I think I will just put Academy Rector into play. And if they draw a Swords to Plowshares, I can at least force that. And I guess I'll just throw this out as potentially another chump blocker. So my issue here, my problem here is that they're going to make Merit Lage next turn. I do potentially have some outs for that. But yeah, the Rector is really good right here just because it really kind of stops them from attacking, where it's like if they attack with 6 or this to draw their cards, get their value, then they are giving me an Aluren, which will let me win the game next turn with the Yorion, of course. So what's the spell? Green Sun, X equals 2. I think, just want to make sure. Knowledge. I think that's a little too good. And of course, next turn I will get to flicker the 2 recruiters, potentially find something useful. Ice-Fang Coatl is pretty good here because it's a flying blocker for Merit Lage. Bowmaster would cut off their Sylvan Library. All right, opponent's in a pickle. We'll see what they come up with. They can just spin up Merit Lage this turn. Like this can get um, the Thespian stage, and then they could spend 2 mana, put a Dark Depths into play tapped, and then have 3 total mana to make a 20/20. Yeah, this makes sense. I like their decision to not attack with Knight here. But they attack, so they mill first, and then they're going to reveal with Bronco. And they do get to put a land into hand, so they potentially have access to what's it called? They potentially have access to. Ooh, that is literally the perfect hit for them, huh? Oh wait, no, because I'm gonna get the block. Thank goodness. Oh, does that matter? I don't think it matters. It means I can't block, but like whatever with that card. So block here and block here. But yeah, this is one of the perfect cards, I think, just because it's Oh yeah, and they get to get it. Yeah, okay. I guess I punted because now they get to bog me. Okay. Well, looks like we're losing this one. Yeah. All right. Not looking good. Yeah. All right. Good games. Maybe I was supposed to no, because they could have green sun for the Mawok and exiled this. Yeah, I think it's just kind of a tough matchup. Or I guess tough with how the draws shook out. So we'll play these. Endurance can shrink their knights and mess with 6, etc., etc. Can trim 1 force negation and maybe 1 force of will. And then I think everything else is good, which means I need 2 more cuts. Maybe Eternal Witness is bad because it's weak to Graveyard Hate. I can see that. And then I'm not sure what else. Everything else seems pretty solid. You could say like take 1 Flare of Cultivation out, but I think it's just too good with Veteran and Ice-Fang and everything. Um, hmm. Could be a Recruiter. Let's do this. Might be silly, but it's fine. It's possible this deck wants 1 fewer mana sources, just because between Flare and Veteran, we draw a ton of lands, and then after that, you can kind of risk flooding if you draw more Flares and more Veterans. This is you're seeing the very first run of this build, completely untested previously. Um, but this is something I'm kind of realizing is it's possible we play like 1 too many mana sources. Because if you're doing the thing, you just want to find action after that. But yeah, so I think my mistake that game was grabbing the Rector because they have access to the Bajuka Bog with the Knight. So I should have gotten something else, maybe like a Bowmaster Or potentially just played the Yorion for turn, or something different. Something different with my turn. This feels good enough. Leyline of the Void. I guess I can't be too surprised. Though I am sad. If they do anything scary on turn 1, I would attempt to swords it. So I think my awkward thing here is I don't necessarily want to leave the Tundra dangling for Wasteland. But if they play a creature, I would like to kill it. So I'm going to leave this dangling. Drawing the Karakas, just an extra source of white mana, helps. Yeah, do have that. And that's fine. Oh, maybe that was a mistake. I could actually see that. I think I should have played out the Dryad Arbor there. But it's so bad into Bowmaster. I think I'm just hoping to draw, peel another land next turn. Instead, I will take time to kill this. Call it a day. Hope they don't have another Wasteland. Well, if they didn't have it before, they're going to. Alright, so at the very least here, I can fetch for a swamp. Play Uro, and then Karakas it back to hand. And we are just one Aluren away from potentially winning the game, which is exciting. Ooh. Drew the Natty Wasteland too, so now they're going to get to kill both my mana sources. Rough stuff. Well, I am going to play out the Uro here. I could have tried to Brainstorm first and potentially hit another blue source of mana, but I didn't feel that was worth it. And it looks like they do not have a Bowmaster in hand. We'll wait to end step, see if there's anything we want to do. I think the answer is no. I think I'm going to wait till my turn to Brainstorm. Just want to dig for a white source of mana or an Aluren. The Knight's huge. So I guess the question becomes, do I want to play out the Bowmasters to absorb 7 damage if they attack? Luckily, they don't attack. I think I would have taken it, but unclear. Yeah. Okay. All the Wastelands. Ice-Fang Coatl's not bad. I'm actually just going to play that out first, and then maybe Brainstorm next turn. Or this turn. Yeah, I'll Brainstorm this turn. I think I don't want the Cabal Therapy at this point. And I'm definitely playing the Ponder this turn. I guess off of a tropical island. It's just if I want the 6th mana source or one of these cards. I think I want the 6th mana source. Is that true? Because Harpy plus Uro is draw my deck once. Oh, actually, I need to get green-white with this Flooded Strand. If I want to swords anything. Maybe I just do this turn. I guess Uro is probably better than Bowmaster if I have the Cavern Harpy. Because if I'm just looking, if the thing I'm looking for is Aluren, then I think that's better. Yep. So they do that. I will try to let them get a thing. And I actually think I want to Swords the Knight here. Could also get a Plains, but no Savannah's a second green. Because they currently don't have a Plains or Island to sacrifice. And I wouldn't want them to get more Urza Sagas. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Actually, interesting. Discarding the Besage is very surprising to me. Because they could potentially channel that to kill an Aluren. Alright, so I will Ponder. Obviously, if they have Bowmaster, it's a little annoying, but ooh, Force of Vigor is very interesting. Could hit both their Mox Diamonds. Just cut them off of mana. I don't hate that, actually. I think they're going to put a charge counter on the Blast Zone, so I'm going to let them do that, and then Force of Vigor the 2 Moxes. You know, there's arguments for hitting Leyline, there's arguments for hitting a Construct token, but you know me, I have my Mana Denial roots. And they can pop this to kill Ice-Fang at their leisure, so I am just going to take this block and basically take off any and all pressure that I had. Do I want the swords is the next question. I think the answer is yes. The card under it, I remember myself not wanting. I'll get another green source, I guess. I'm not going to play out the Uro just because if I draw an Aluren, then I do just get to win the game effectively. They do have the Karakas right now for the Yorion, so it's like I sort of want to wait till my Ryan is getting value by bouncing something. Oh, shoot. Yeah. It is legendary. Okay, well, that doesn't matter. Alright, they only have 12 minutes, and there's a game 3 to play. So, I'm going to have to do this quickly. And, like, in theory, what I should have done was play the Cavern Harpy first and put the trigger on the stack. I'm actually just going to do that now. I guess it doesn't quite matter. Oh yeah, there's no way to get around that actually. I will show my opponent that I've won the game and see if that makes them want to concede. They're under no obligation to. And then I will get a couple more lands into play. And just play out the Yorion. Play out this bad boy. And then we should be able to kill them pretty quickly after this. And we have a 9/9 in play. I suppose they do technically have the blast zone. But we can bounce all our things in response to that. Right, and I think I do need to start auto yielding to this. In general, you don't want to auto yield to this, but so now I have to decide if it's faster to win this turn with Bowmaster. I think it is. Because this is just, I have to do this 12 or like 10 more times. I'll just play fast for the next game. I'm not really calculating or like doing the win stuff. I'm doing like the clock stuff where it's like if my opponent peels an answer to the Orc army token next turn, like they peel Swords of Plowshares, it's going to take me way longer to win. But if they don't draw an answer, then just going to the next combat would be better. These little time optimization things you have to do when you're playing Aluren. Right, they're at 18. Do this one more time. And actually, you know, another small optimization I could have done is put the stack, the triggered ability, closer to the life total. Um, so that they so that I would be able to click it faster. Hopefully it's not going to matter. All right, so we got 5 minutes. That's plenty of time, right? Plenty of time. Plenty of time. Um, I can trim one explorer because if they're playing, they are on the leyline plan, then that's worse for me. And just bring back in the Force of Will. Let's do it. I could also consider the Nile Spellbomb. It's kind of the same thing where like it shrinks shrinks their stuff and hampers their effectiveness, but I think I'm just going to leave it like this. Actually, the Dryad Arbor, I think, is largely awful between Bowmaster and Wasteland. So I'm just going to cut that one. We've been talking about wanting to trim a land anyway, so there you go. And yeah, I also realized I misbuilt this. I probably want at least one Surveil land in my combo deck. um, so in my Uro plus combo deck, yeah. So that was definitely a small miss on my end. The Surveil lands are newish, or they're not new, but they're new enough for me that I don't automatically include them when I'm thinking of building a new deck. But I think that's wrong. I think those cards are very, very good, and it's time to just update my heuristic and try to remember to play at least one. My thought process with the Dryad Arbor, I think I mentioned it before, but this plus Force or Flare, or this plus Green Sun plus Flare is a way to get fast mana that's also stable, um, which I kind of like. I like the idea of doing that, but in practice it might not be as good. We'll see. Right, gotta play fast. Gotta play fast. I wonder if they knew I was Aluren after game one. I did show them the Rector, but I think this deck is old enough that I don't think people will necessarily be like, "Oh, Rector, obviously this is Aluren," but it's possible. They did see Recruiter, Recruiter, Rector, Aluren makes sense. Okay, this hand is a one lander, so I'm definitely going to mulligan. I definitely wouldn't mind losing a quick one here because then I wouldn't have to say that I timed out and was going to win. This seems like enough. I'm going to keep and oh, I guess I'll bottom. I guess I'll bottom a flare. It's either the flare or the rector. Ooh, vexing bauble. Boo. All right, well, that's annoying. I will shut off its ability to draw a card though. Um, we'll get green something. We'll get green black. No, we'll get green white. We'll get green black. I can't get green white. If I don't get wastelanded, I'm of course planning to cast the flare here. If they attack, I will actually just block and offer the trade. It turns on their ability to cycle vexing, but I don't care if they cycle vexing, really. I do care about my stuff. I do care about being able to use the graveyard. Nice. See? And now it's I don't have to deal with it. All right. Let's just get a basic forest here. Cast our cultivate. We'll get green white. And then next turn likely look to recruiter plus Ice-Fang. Let's see. I could just get like grist and try to grind them out that way. I don't hate it. Grist is also a way to sacrifice Rector if I need it to do that. I'm actually going to. Oh, I should have done this when they couldn't get Bowmaster. As it stands, I might just want to hold it. Actually, yeah, this was definitely a misplay. Oh, I should have also. Yeah, could have responded to this potentially. Well, let's see what they're doing with their life. I feel like they're just getting way. Oh, maybe not. Huh. Right. Well, I'll let this happen. They name the human, and then I'll play out the ice thing. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. Is it human? It is, yeah. So I'm gonna do this. Oh no! Well, I did not, re I didn't think about the fact that I'm milling the Niambi now. Oh well. And actually, maybe I'm just supposed to, kill this now, yeah. I like this plan. That's fine. Ooh, interesting. I wonder what they're doing. I guess I can yield through this turn. I don't have things to do. My opponent doesn't know that, but I'm not in the position to bluff right now. I'm gonna cycle a spell bomb first, see what I find. Not good. Hmm. Actually, I think I'm just gonna do this turn. I'm actually very fine with that. So these are all coming at Grist. Reveal Force of Vigor. Unlucky. Yeah, it's looking like I'm in a timeout no matter what I do, which is slightly upsetting, but I need to think about playing faster when that happens. Oh, now they can't do it, actually. They don't have the mana to Force of Vigor. Though I would need to rip not another land. Okay, so definitely doing this turn, and then yeah, don't think I would even be able to attack for 4 fast enough. Yeah, that's fine. Well, yeah, right. I'll just concede here. No need to play it out. I do think I would actually be in reasonable shape this game, um, with more time, especially after drawing Cavern Harpy. I would just get to get an Aluren into play. Although I guess with the right up, I probably can't get an Aluren into play anymore. Um, but I do have some things going. Looking at the draw stats, actually, I'd probably end up losing. But this was a really cool game. This was really interesting, very close. But yeah, that was the game. I will try to play faster for the next round, and we'll be back for round 5. All right, here for round 5. We are on the play. We have a companion. This hand seems reasonable for its blue card. Our mana is set up under us. Aluren can become our own personal Yogg bargain if we want it to be. Hmm. I don't think I'm going to counter Chalice here. I like my blue cards. uh, well, it's fine. I have to decide if I'm prioritizing all my colors, prioritizing all some basics to play around Wasteland, or what I want to do. So I can fetch Basic Forest, or I can fetch Savannah. Savannah turns on like Recruiter of the Guard, stuff like that. No matter what I think I'm just gonna get the Savannah. I think the Ice-Fang is far enough away from Death Touch that I don't care. Bowmasters is solid. We just need lands here. And because of that, I think I'm just going to hold up the other Ice-Fang rather than play the Cavern Harpy. Yeah, them passing on turn 2 is both good and scary. They're one land short from kicking this, which is oh, it just gets it untapped. Oh my god, that's wild. This guy's nuts. Okay. Is there an Eldrazi Stifle effect I don't know about? Elder Spirit Guide. Torpor Orb! Alright, so I have to counter this. Obviously, my entire deck is based on ETBs, so definitely bringing in Force of Vigor. That's what that means. Alright, let's go land. Boom. We got there. Alright. I think that means we win, but you know, you never know. Really happy I didn't force the chalice. Yeah, I'll just do this now. So cast without paying mana cost. Respond to the trigger. Always healed. And it sucks that I can't always yield to the Cavern Harpy trigger. So I will do the thing I talked about where I put it very close. Because if I want to play around removal, I can't yield to the Cavern Harpy trigger. I have to play it first. All right, luckily, I think Eldrazi is a slower matchup. Maximum Zen is quite the name for someone not conceding to an infinite combo. Feels very unzen. Just relax. It's okay. The game's over. Also, it's Eldrazi. Like, these games are not going to go to time. But to each their own. I'm pretty zen, personally. And then I'm just going to speed this up, and I'll cut to the end. All right, we win! I'm back, and we win. We got there. We still have 20 minutes left on our clock. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. One thing I will say is that while Bowmasters is a great Magic card, the other Aluren win cons do win faster in the sense that they drain for 2 each cycle rather than 1. And that might be relevant against a deck trying to play, or against decks that'll, you know, make you work for it, as it were. Okay. Artifact Hate, Force of Vigor, Force of Negation. These both come in. I think that's about it. Plague Engineer on Eldrazi does seem reasonable. What am I cutting? I'm cutting. I don't know. Certainly not any other combo. I think this is definitely a matchup where you want to go fast. I'll trim this Eternal Witness. This seems to be being trimmed quite a lot. I'll trim the Dried Arbor. Again, seems to be trimming quite a lot, which is fine. And then I want to. My blue count's a little bit low, a little bit on the low side, so I don't want to cut like any of these cantrips, even though they're a Chalice deck. Maybe I trim a Cabal Therapy. But that can name the Torpor Orb, Mill Drifter, all this stuff. Oh, this is difficult. Finding a thing to trim is difficult. Who would have guessed? Yeah, I'll trim a Recruiter. Yeah. Don't ask me if I'm sideboarding the right way. I have no idea. That's not for me to know. Okay, what does this hand do? Not much. I think this is a mulligan. It's just like turn one nothing, turn two, get a veteran explorer. The draws is a fast deck. Yeah, I'll try mulliganing this. Well, this hand's definitely worse, but I will still keep it. Let's see what they grab with Once Upon a Time. Opponent finds a temple, a Eldrazi temple. Cool. Plays temple and passes. Okay, okay. There's something. I don't hate it. We draw Black Source next turn. We can do things potentially. This gets around what's his name? The Torpor Orb. No, the Torpor Orb will still, of course, be quite good versus my deck. Teferi is an answer to it though, for a turn. Not a great answer, but that's okay. If they do get their Null Drifter in play, I can just sack the Explorer to the Annihilator trigger. It's perfect. Callous on one. Okay, well, that is somewhat annoying. However, I do still get to um, if I draw a Black Source, I do get to flashback. I don't think the one damage is worth potentially getting to sack this to Smasher. But yeah, sorry. As I was saying, so you can still flashback therapy. It'll get countered, but I'm still sacrificing the Veteran Explorer as it costs. So I will still get my basics, which can be relevant because this is looking like it might be a Yorion game, which is funny against against Eldrazi because usually those games tend to go fast. So it looks like this build is a little bit slower, more trying to assemble Torpor Orb plus No Drifter while being green. So it's like sort of a three-color deck where you have like green, blue, and colorless. Um, so opponent is playing with the new cards, which I can appreciate. Ooh, they sack a Spirit Guide to find a Spirit Guide. Oh, but no land. Okay, I'm understanding what's happening now. Okay, so that is mana. It is black mana. So I'm kind of at the spot where I don't want to give them two lands, Because I could do it. I have 4 mana. What does 4 mana do? I guess it lets me Niambi plus Coatl, but like, it's not that powerful. I think this is just a put this in hand and pass the turn. Okay. The third one's upon them. The first one is pretty good. The next two are not quite as good, especially when you're exiling a card from your hand in order to cast it. So I'm feeling pretty good so far, but of course, and also they should have just done this on their turn, I think, because if they find a land, they can play a land for turn, and if they draw another land, et cetera, et cetera. So if I were my opponent, I think I would have just played it on their turn. I guess they wanted to play around force negation, but speaking of, well, so I think start off by attacking. Still, just with this, I still would not mind trading the veteran for a smasher should they play it. I should have thought about this more. So I could play therapy, retrace therapy, not retrace, flashback therapy. Have access to 5 total mana, which would be enough to play Teferi plus something else. I kind of feel like I just want to play the flare without sacking anything. So we have enough green. We'll get, I guess, blue-white. Could have gotten black, because if they find Wasteland... Actually, yeah, that was pretty potentially poor. Or if they find Wasteland, they, Or, yeah, if they find Wasteland, then they wasted my black mana. You have a Maya. Okay. The One Ring. Oh, okay. It's pretty good here. Though, Bowmaster still does do work against the One Ring, so you don't get the first ping, but you get all additional. So definitely playing land for turn. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, which is one short of playing Teferi plus Yorion in the same turn. That might be okay, though. I could also Teferi to bounce the Chalice, and then I know that the first therapy will hit the Chalice. I kind of like that better. I like that a lot better, actually. Oh my god, I cannot therapy them this turn. They have protection from everything. That's annoying. um, so what does that mean? Probably means they just plus, right? And I guess I'll just play the Bowmaster right now. It doesn't get the ETB, but if they should draw cards with the ring next turn, then it does. And I guess my concern was like, I want to play this Bowmaster in end step, and so I think that it's worth it to just play it now. Because if they just pass and don't draw cards with the ring, then when I play Bowmaster, they get to draw the 2 cards. They miss out on the 2 pings. I think that's slightly better than them having a removal spell for the Bowmaster. Yeah, so now I feel stupid not getting the second Black Source. I think this was a huge punt because I get to kill my land, and I do not get to do anything about it. Yeah, definitely a big punt on my part. Right, well, I will still shoot them. This is non-basic, right? Exile target land. Oh, any land. Jesus. This card's great. See, it looks like they're playing another Chalice, which makes sense. Okay, so in that case, the play is probably to just attack with my guys, then bounce the Torpor and play Yorion. That's what I'll do. I'll attack with everything except the Bowmaster. Because I don't mind, actually, if they trade for the Veteran here. I kind of would like my lands to do things. Or I guess I'd like to get more mana here. This seems reasonable to me. Yeah, and now I just get to blink Bowmaster, kill the spawn. I'm going to save the Karakas, of course, because... Oh my god. I'm so used to just clicking the basics, but this Yavimaya is ruining everything. It's ruining my plans. And I guess I can blink the Teferi too, because this will give it 1 more loyalty. So draw my card, kill this. I feel like we're in decent shape. Oh, 2 more loyalty even. Teferi starts at 4. Opponent is at 11, and I have a Bowmaster in play against a 1 ring. These are all good things. Though, of course, they have access to a lot of mana and a lot of cards. So it is possible that things work out poorly for me. Yep. So with the Karakas, I can just do this again next turn. Probably won't, but still. Uh-oh, what's happening? The 4th spirit. Oh no! Okay, yeah, I guess I lose. Oh, okay, I get 2 basics. But there's 2 chalices in play, and I have no actionable spells in my hand. Yeah, Earl's not bad. As far as draw steps that are not bad goes, Earl counts. I would have also accepted Force of Vigor. Yeah, I mean, can't stop it. Okay, so Opponent has 2 Null Drifters in play. I have an Uro in play. They are effectively on a 2-turn clock to their ring. I'm going to play this because I don't think there's a downside, but we'll see. There's no ETB, of course, because of the. All right, interesting. Looks like they have a Kozilek's command. Yep. So obviously I'm going to save this. Actually, so I could go blue white this, discard. Yeah, so I can discard the Uro and then draw 2 cards and then also escape it this turn, which I'm likely going to do. This freaking Yavimaya is so annoying. All right, so we'll see what happens. Obviously, they are in a good spot. So Wasteland was the land for turn. 3rd Mill Drifter. So I'll attack this and I guess a forest. I guess I can yield to this turn. Okay, so there's definitely a very much slower deck, but might still be fast enough to win. We'll see. Obviously, we'll start by attacking. Draw my card, put my land into play. So unfortunately, I don't have like a green sun target that kills artifacts or enchantments. I will kill the Endbringer. That does more. Hmm. I could green suns for oof, and then just shut off the ring's ability to draw cards, so they have to win with the 6 they have in hand. I don't hate that. Wow, counter target sorcery. All right, well, that's annoying. Actually, I can play Uro here. All right, well, we'll see. Obviously, part of the issue here is that they can draw 4 more cards to find another ring. Any Bowmaster I find is not lethal because of the Torpor Orb. But, we'll see what happens. We'll see. Yeah, the All is Dust is what ruined me. I think I would have been in great shape without that card. Or if I'd found a counter for it. But I think I have some Force Negations in the sideboard. I didn't realize how non-creature heavy they would be. Oh, they're still in the deck. Okay. So yeah, I don't think any of this stuff comes in. I didn't realize I didn't bring it. Oof. Yeah, I don't think any of this stuff comes in. I think I just have to counter the Torp Orb a little bit, be a little bit better about doing that. Or drawing my Force of Vigor. All right, opponent. So 10 cards in hand and 1 life. Very cool game. All right, they're going to Michael Spawn, kill my land, get a land. Oh wait, did they not do either? They just played it as a blocker. I'm confused. I'm sure they have a plan. I don't know the plan, but I'm sure they have it. I played Eldrazi Temple as their land for turn. I don't know what's happening. But lots of mana in the pool, so we'll see what's happening. Mana is leaving the pool, but in a way that's good for me and not them. I'm sure they just tapped slightly incorrectly. Okay, so they didn't do anything. Obviously, I'm sacrificing 3 lands here. Green, blue. I guess white. Going to 3. I have a Walking Ballista. I'm dead. I don't know if that would be in this deck, but there's a lot I don't know that's in this deck. Now this Torpor Orb, that doesn't do anything. Okay. Are they going to maybe find a way to stifle their ring trigger? That would be amazing. Okay, back to 6, draw a card. There's the Bowmaster, but of course, would not work here. So you know what? I'm gonna play it. Because why not, you know? And then I will F6. See if... Yep, okay, cool. They didn't find a ring. Alright, well, got a little lucky in the end there, but, well, you know, that's part of magic. I will be back for the end of set review. Right, welcome back to the end of set review. For the first outing for the deck, ended up doing pretty good. We went 4-1. Our loss was to really cool Naya Maverick deck that was making use of 6 and Shifting Woodland. And then we beat a couple of Eldrazi decks. We beat the Necro Dominance deck, and we beat a Blue White Miracles deck, which was a nice little smattering of different things. I think that Modern Horizons 3 brought a ton of new stuff to experiment with. This honestly felt like a really good improvement, I have to say. Like, the Flare of Cultivation plus Veteran Explorer combo really felt like it souped up the deck power level wise. Just the fact that you can supercharge your game plan, you know, really recruiter for things and then do that thing in the same turn. Play an Escape Uro easily. Put your Ryan into your hand and play it on the same turn. You know, much ahead of schedule. As well as just like kind of being fine to play for 3 mana when the game is bogged down if you're not under immediate pressure. Just getting that ramp plus basically a 2-for-1 is quite nice actually. The deck was slightly misbuilt. I do think there should be one Surveil land in here for sure. And I'm still not sure about the Dryad Arbor, where, you know, I'd like to test that a bit more. Sometimes it'll be good, but a lot of times it's a little bit slow and clunky. And then we had also been talking about maybe wanting one less land in general, so this could be a reasonable thing to cut for an extra spell. I think if you consider that Veteran plus Flare, you know, as 8 additional mana sources, the deck is a little bit mana heavy. Um, and, you know, maybe mine's with Dryad plus 1, something like Uro or something that lets us draw more cards and use our extra mana effectively could be reasonable. But yeah, those were the games. I hope you enjoyed my return to legacy content come Modern Horizons. This set, like I said, is very interesting. It has a lot of new stuff to offer, and I'm very excited to be trying out some new ideas and sharing them with all of you. So again, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again soon. Bye, guys.